Hey, what's going on YouTube? I'm Chevy. I will introduce myself in a later video. I just thought I should probably get this video out there because I think it's a hot topic right now, and I'm going to be talking about this upcoming hurricane season. So let's get right into it. So, as we all know, the 2024 hurricane season is coming up. Personally, this is my favorite time of the year, simply because it's summer, the water's warm, and maybe I get to see a hurricane, or two, or three. Yeah, I live in Florida, so it's not uncommon, but from a meteorological perspective, I love hurricanes. They're such an awe-inspiring thing because, they're almost too big to comprehend. The raw power and intensity they can bring is, at the same time, both terrifying and freaking awesome. But hurricanes can be awful, and they can cause a lot of damage. If you want to see just how bad they can be, go check out my Hurricane Ian video. Shameless plug. But anyways, the 2024 hurricane season. This one's really shaping up to be a doozy. If you in any way pay attention to the weather or weather patterns, you may know that we've been in an El Nino for just under a year at this point. What is an El Nino, you ask? Well, I'm glad you asked that question, and if you didn't, you did, because I'm going to explain it. The El Nino is a climate pattern that affects the surface temperatures around the equatorial Pacific Ocean. And you may be asking why we're talking about the Pacific Ocean when I'm addressing the Atlantic hurricane season, but don't worry, I'm going to get to that. Since the Pacific Ocean is so large, the temperatures it has significantly affects our weather patterns here in the United States. According to NOAA, the warmer waters cause the Pacific jet stream to move south of its neutral position. With this shift, areas in the northern U.S. and Canada are drier and warmer than usual, but in the U.S. Gulf Coast and southeast, these periods are wetter than usual and have increased flooding. With this shift in the jet stream, it can sometimes shift over Florida or even further south. This brings lots of wind shear to the environment and atmosphere and can act as a barrier against hurricanes. Simply put, wind shear is bad for hurricanes. It hinders development, and depending on strength, it can basically rip apart hurricanes. So that's the rundown of El Nino, and it's what we've been experiencing recently. Now, what's important about this is that we are in the midst of shifting back to a La Nina. It technically has not happened yet, but if I give you a visual, you may understand better. Here's where we are now. Notice that we are still experiencing El Nino conditions, but we are expecting a quick shift into a La Nina and will likely be in a full-blown La Nina in the July, August, September season and the August, September, October season. Also understand that this is right where hurricane season is in its peak, and this is important because La Nina is known to lead to more active and severe hurricane seasons. So, on top of a switch to La Nina right in the peak of hurricane season, we have exceptionally warm temperatures in the Atlantic basin right now. The temperatures we're seeing in the Atlantic right now in early April are comparable to temperatures we may see in early June. So another worry to expert meteorologists is rapid intensification of storms. A great example of rapid intensification is Hurricane Ian in 2022. And I've already mentioned it once, but seriously, that led to tragic outcomes, and it may be coming once again. And the true fact of the matter is, no matter how bad this season will be, we can't exactly predict where these storms will go. There are so many variables that experts have to analyze, and environments can change very rapidly. So there is a glimmer of hope, but we have to be prepared for the worst case scenario in this situation. Heed the warnings, evacuate when told to do so, stock up on canned goods and water especially, and on top of this, never forget the golden rule. Treat your neighbor as you would like to be treated, because in the worst of it, authorities and emergency responders may not be able to reach you very quickly. Just remember, we're all in this together. So, let's get into predictions and numbers. Take a look at this picture right here. This is the AccuWeather forecast for the 2024 season. On average, we see around 14 named storms a year, 7 hurricanes, and 3 major hurricanes. As you can see, the numbers are slightly inflated this year. AccuWeather is calling for 20 to 25 named storms, 8 to 12 hurricanes, and 4 to 7 major hurricanes. If you live in the southeast or Gulf Coast, this is slightly worrying. I've seen predictions from 22 to 28 named storms, which is almost double the average. As you can see, this season really is shaping up to be a doozy. Maybe a double doozy, right? So we need to be prepared, and I'm not trying to scare you with this information, but I'm just trying to inform you. So I know this was probably a quick one. I think that's going to do it for this video. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Please take this information for what it's worth and pay attention to the changes, because these predictions are just that, predictions. They can change significantly, but the signs all point to a severe hurricane season. So stay safe out there, y'all, and let me know what you think. This is Chevy, signing off.